I wanted to try out, and I figured I'd bring you guys along. So, colors I am playing with today. Don't mind my double stack tile. I have another project I was in the middle of, just squished to keep the dust off of it. But yeah, so I started playing around, grabbing colors. This is one of the ones we mixed before. I'm going for Snowflakes here. Sorry, let me get a little more in the intro. I started printing double tall rollers because the smalls are short and small, which are great and inexpensive. But once I really love a pattern, I don't always want to go to the bigger size because it's fatter and the details get bigger. A lot of the stuff I work on is jewelry, so I want my details to stay tiny, and even beads. So I'm looking for little details. So I was working on making my small rollers in now a double tall so that you can get a lot more pattern per roll out instead of having to try to double up your patterns. So these are the Christmassy ones. I've got, I think this is Snowflake Odyssey. This one's Snow Melt, and these are just now getting listed. They are on the website. I can't remember if they've made it to Etsy or not, but I need to spend a little time. I like this because it's going to be a little bit more abstract-y. I might have to change the position on my phone a little bit, see if I can't get you guys better lighting. Let me see, actually. This camera version works better with the big light on. Okay, normally I have to turn that off. Yeah, so this one I'm calling Snowdrift. And then that's it in its opposite. But yeah, that one's super interesting, a little more abstract-y. And this is Snowflake Odyssey, which I'm thinking will be a good Mokume Gane roller. Debossing pushes the pattern in, embossing leaves the pattern raised. Mostly I'm going to be using debossing, but I might have a point or two where I want embossing. This one is Tiny Snowstorm. And those little, if we can get it to clear, those little teensy snowflakes. I can't imagine we'll see much detail in it in Mokume Gane, but it might still be interesting. And then this is the old school snowflake, just made double tall, so there's more to the pattern. It's got the one big main snowflake in there, and then the rest of it's just fun, subtle little variations on snowflakes. So that one's pretty fun. Yeah, so I've got those sitting here to play with. I was looking for snow skiing colors, so let's see. Something about trying to get that shadow to go. Oh, it doesn't want to go sideways. Come on, we're not actually sideways. We're just going downward without shadows. There we go. Okay, so this is one of the cool navies that we mixed up the last time. So it's navy blue and antique gold. And it's just got such an amazing amount of the shimmer and kick, and it's still a navy when you get it at one angle, but it's super gold at other angles, so I love this color. Another color I grabbed out of the stash from the other day is this guy, which is just a nice, subtle, earthy, soft blue. And this guy is, oh, that is actually this color. So one navy, one antique gold, and two ecru. So it's this color with a couple ecru thrown in. So yeah, that's why these complement each other really well. And this is ecru mixed with white and pearl. So just pearl, white, and ecru. I think it's mostly white, I believe, with like maybe a third, like 2 white to 1 pearl, and then a small piece of ecru chunked in. So I mean, granted, I did in a big old batch, so it's a lot of that. And then I wanted a brighter blue. And I was playing around. I found, I forget the name of that blue. Let me grab one out of my stash so I can give you the name on it. Gotta find the right stash drawer. Where are you? Find blue. No, that's not it. Got it? Yeah, this was it, right? Yes, that was it. Okay, yeah, see, it matches there. So Aqua Metallic, and I don't know if they're still selling it. I bought a whole bunch of it when it first came out because I love this color. I shouldn't be wasting it mixing it down because I love this color. But there it is there. So, and this was me mixing colors up, and I just saved this piece because the color blending will probably get chopped into something cool or turned into beads or something, but it's got all the colors I was pulling. So anyway, so this is Aqua Metallic Navy. I think the navy had a little bit of something metallic in it. I don't know what, but it's kind of irrelevant because it was mostly, so it's like at least 2 aqua. The Rottweiler wants out of his breakfast. Anyway, so this is aqua metallic navy and pearl white. Actually, this is aqua metallic navy and pearl white. And it was too clashy. See how much brighter and just awkward it is against these? So it was extra clashy. Oh, sweet. Welcome for being the first one on the stream. Oh, yeah, so I grabbed a very small amount of ecru and mixed it in because ecru was basically the combining factor that makes all three of these colors blend. I threw a little in here too. Up, up, up. Quiet. And then I know I'm going to want to get softer colors. I don't want to be too super bright. So I mixed up, and I'll need some white because we're going snow scheme. This is about 50-50 white and pearl. So just half white, half pearl. Pearl itself is too see-through. It's way too translucent to use. And white overtakes too much. So I wanted to, can you see? Yeah, you can see that little sheen of pearl in there. So I just wanted to break down the white and make sure that it didn't like take over the project. So I wanted to soften it up with the little pearl, but I didn't want to, blah it out too much. And I didn't, and this is, like I said, this is with the ecru mixed in. So this is essentially this with ecru, which I don't want that to take over either because that's too much ecru. But anyway, so that is my color scheme. So we will scoot that off to the side and try to keep track of everything. I was thinking I was going to make a Skinner blend out of these and use that as the center of my Mokume Gane. So I think what I'm going to do is, let's see, how do I want to mix this up? I think I won't, oh, and then this is translucent. Sorry, there's a big chunk of translucent. So I'm going to layer some translucent in, but not right away. So let's see, what order do we want to do this in? So I'm kind of thinking something like this to this to this to this. And I'm debating on whether I want to put this in the Skinner blend or if I just want to do it a solid layer on top. I think I'm going to do a solid layer on top so I can be a little more controlled over the amount of that. So I think that's going to be the order I'm going to Skinner blend. And then am I going to make the outer edge a little bit lesser? You know what, that puts more of that in there. Could do it that way. Yeah, do it this way. Oh yeah. So, decision made. Stop contemplating. Sorry for the motor. It gets loud. Apologies. And then I want it to be a pretty big. All the way on. Go ahead and double cut and stack all of these. And give another tile too. Oh man, I've been working too much. Okay. All my tiles are either in the oven or have other projects sitting on them. So I'm going to go ahead and stack these. I think I need to rebuild these cutters because I think it was before I got the newer printers and got a better edge on my cutters. I don't think that's beveled to as tight of an edge as I can do. Okay, so it's this color first, this color second, smush a little so it actually fits. Roller. Just cut one out. Maybe possible to get two and maybe I can actually. Everything I use now for the cutters cut really, 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 really clean. So I think it's time to rework this model and make sure I have the same bevel on it that I've been using. I'm actually going to put the slots in for the handles too, for the back plate, which I still need to get those listed on the website for you guys. I'm sorry. So much to do, and I've been in and out of town a whole bunch with dog shows and vacations and all sorts of stuff. So dogs did really good at their dog show, so that was a lot of fun. All right, so we got two. Go back over here, out the way. Next color is let me get two out of there. Should open up a couple more little plastic boxes to store those in, get them out of my way. Shiggy. Alrighty. Take your color with you. Alrighty. Go ahead and do that real quick. Set up a couple boxes to drop these into. Go away. Go away. A little bit of room to keep spreading out. Away. And go away. I do like this color. That worked out perfect. Alrighty. Roll you out. Okay. Let me put you away. Like Dad got the havoc out. Good Dad. Alright. Roller. Turns out I seem to prefer stainless roller over the acrylic ones because the first acrylic ones I had liked to get all gunky and nasty and locked up, so it wasn't like the proper acrylic. And then I found the stainless one, and I haven't even gone looking for a good acrylic roller because I like the stainless one better. I'm just going to chop those. So I do have a cutter for the end piece where it doesn't require cutting and fitting, but it is smaller. So it works better if I'm, like I want this to be the majority color and then like a black and a white. It works perfect for that. But if I want most of these colors, like the white I could have done this little cutter on and not had all the extra. But I think I want the white in it. I think I want it to have plenty of white to settle out to. Okay, so now that that's all rolled down, let's pull it up. Blade's gonna be my friend. Lift. Okay. Oh, have a good day. And thinner blend is full. All the colors are going long ways. Like that E-Crew is the heaviest, less flexible section of this. So it's getting longer while the other sides are starting to taper. So taking that in, make sure it doesn't get too long, trying to keep it as level as possible. And I don't want this to be the most insanely well blended ever. I actually want it to have some subtlety to it, but I want to get past the striky phase. I'm going it this way now. And then for a jelly roll. So I'm going to step it down. So that was a 0. This is now a 2. A big jelly roll. 3. 5. Just as soon as I'm going because I don't want to deal with more than that. And I think we have too much of this. I think it's going to overtake our jelly roll. So I'm going to actually chop a little off. Because the center color is almost always the boldest anyway. So I'm going to plop that over there. And then we're going to start rolling it from here. Take a second to make sure that first little roll feels like it's actually rolled and doesn't have any air bubbles catching in it. And just keep it tight, touch the edges in because they like to get a little wider then, and that angle's awkward for me, so I'm going to switch a little diagonal. Up. The Ridgeback came to say hi. Everyone's going to yell at her. Right. Just following the size of the material. Sometimes it's wider, then sometimes it gets more narrow. So now I got to scrunch it down to keep it lined up so I don't have overlap or lack of cover. And there we go. And we're jelly rolled. So, you see what I mean? How much more fill that would have been if I'd have kept going with that. So I don't want that to overly take over. So we're just going to do it like that. We're going to roly. And there's our jelly roll. Just make sure everything's all smushed together and blended pretty well. It's actually a pretty jelly roll. All right, I'm going to not soft blade, use the firm blade. Cut it in half because it's such a big jelly roll. I'm not going to use all of it in the first try. So now I'm going to squish it down in half. So now you can see how much that middle blue taken over if we'd have let it. So I'm glad we cut that off. I'm going to grab my rolling pin and start to roll you out. That way, and this way, and that way, and more this way. And you can already see how many nice colors we'll have in this. So, going to put this back to 0, don't forget. Flatten this out. So I went this way to get a little more width on it. Now I'm going to run it this way to get a little more length. So that gets us all of our colors and some funky blending effects, and we'll have a little bit because when you squish it, the colors, you know, this is going to stay more centered, this is going to be more to the outside, but it'll push through too. So it gives it a neat effect. So that's why I like using jelly rolls for doing Mokume Gane. They make a really cool blended, and it's a little bit more visual interest than if I just straight up went slabs of color and put them over each other. And it encourages the colors to be a little bit more cohesive. I don't know why I'm getting so much shadow down here, but whatever. All right, so let's make this on top. Because it's a mica chip in there, I want to work it till all my mica particles are flat and I'm not getting the weird lines from, you see how that happens? That's just the thing, I'm not going to be able to get rid of all of it, but I can get rid of some. So we're almost long enough. Now we're long enough. want this really thin. I'll probably stretch it from there. I think if I go any thinner, it's going to be a pain. All right, so I'm going to, let's see, like that. I'm going to try to tap this edge down. That's enough, guys. No, Lacey. No, you're so bossy. Just stretch it across. Lacey, I know the Rottweiler's moving. He's doing things out there he needs to get in trouble for. Hold this there. Alright, so now we have a nice dark color on. Sorry guys, it's totally in my way, but it is what it is. And usually they get a nice good hold. Lacey wants to say hi. Hi, Lacey. Hi, Lacey, what happened? You were saying hi. Come say hi. There's a good girl. Where'd you go? Oh, Merlin says hi. You guys all gonna come say hi? Okay. Hi, baby. There's one of the babies. That's Kismet. Kizzy Kiss Wismet. Hi, Phoenix. Fallon. These two are sisters. They're Lacey babies. Yeah. All right. Hi, Loki. Loki's my old man. He's my little king of the castle. There you are, Loki. Hi. Creeping in. And Merlin. Merlin's my sweet boy. All right. Back to working. Let's see. All right. So, yeah, if we get this rolled and adhered well, then you can usually just kind of tear off the edges sometimes. Pick you up. Tear all the edges off. Sometimes that's just easier than taking a knife to it because then you end up slicing everything and getting things mixed. And I don't know why this works so well, but it usually does. Little pieces stuck out, but okay. And you go back in a pile. And I'm going to go ahead and wipe this because there was a little bit of clay that gets adhered down. So we got a dark color on top and then, oh, rats. I was going to, That's enough. Alicia, quit. Thank you. You're so rotten. All right, so we want a layer of this next. So I was also thinking all of a sudden that some metal leaf would be fun in that. So all the colors? Yeah, there's other metal. Okay. So I've got Amazon. So there's tons of colors in here, and there's a couple blues and a silver. So let's grab a sheet of silver. What you guys climbing on Mama for? One sheet of silver. And I don't know, guys. I like that. You know, forget it. Let's just use it. Get out of there. You can't steal Mama's. Don't steal Mama's stuff. You're messing up my organization. It was totally organized, kind of. Not really, but shh. Okay. All right, I found another half piece of blue while the puppies were raging. So now the question is how neat do I want this? Do I want all a solid sheet of blue, or do I want it in pieces and batches, which I think is more what I want. Come on, come on, come on, break up. There you go. Yeah, that's a pretty solid segment. Now let's go to the silver and work some of the silver ends. Touch, 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 touch. Break it up. Whee. Place where. What are you guys chewing now? No, you can't chew your way back into that drawer. You guys are rotten. And everything's sticking to me. It's one of those kinds of Sundays, huh? Oh, well. So this already has its gold shimmer in it, and then this is going to add some more interest to the shimmers. All right, let's go with blue. Oh, the baby's whining out there. Little Maverick wants to play. He's learned the power of his voice as of 6 a.m. this morning. He's like, oh, I can complain when I want something. This is fun. Alright, so that's probably enough, and now I'm covered in it. Woohoo! Put the little half a piece of silver away. Put the half a piece of blue away. Yeah, I think that'll accent that really nicely. Okay, and that one's garbage. Watch out, kiddos. Baby kids. Neat. Mom's drawers, not yours. Let's try to get some of this. Holy cow, I am now officially leafed. This is so bad. Alright, I guess we'll see. I mean, it's as bad as glitter today. Is it just the blue? I don't know. Maybe the blue's worse than the regular stuff. Alright. Well, the stairs on this is going to have a little bit extra glitter in it, isn't it? Let's get this stretched down really far. No. He's just picking up. I might go ahead and cut this one off with a knife because I think it's going to be problematic. And then this needs to get set aside. I wouldn't mind. Lacey, you don't have to yell because things happen. Alicia. Lacey, you're not in charge of the world. You're not the world's police. Not the Nathan blade, the big chunky one. Let's get you lifted. Lacey. She thinks she's boss of the world. Alright, let me let you guys out. Sorry, guys.
Hey, Elvis.
Hi, Elvis. You want to out? Hey, that's enough. Okay.
Try to be
Oh my
item.
goodness. She would. She's crazy. Ready. And all of that is definitely contaminated, but not in a bad way. Hi, Havoc. Oh, Lucy. Hi. Hey, Bobo. Hello, good guy. Oh, I know. Mama loves you. She does. Ow. Thanks, girl. Thanks, boy. Okay.
It's the mom.
Oh, crazies. Alright, so now that's only clear and glitter. So, do we want to add a layer of white? That was the original plan. So, going in, our snowflakes would be mostly white with a whole bunch of funk in the background. Unless we stay past that point, which we might. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we're doing the white. Alright. I didn't hold, but it's alright. Okay. And that's going to have a bit of glitter in it too. So all of this is going to have to go into its own scrap pile. Bad clay. Stay down. And there's now a papillon here and there because I was playing with the dogs. Now teach me. I don't even know what the heck you are. Alright. Okay, that looks like that's ready to do the tear off thing. Sweet. Back up again. Yeah, that will. Note to self, don't pet the Rottweiler. He's sheddy. Amazing how much the Rottweiler sheds compared to the Papillons. I mean, they shed, don't get me wrong, but he's always dropping little black hairs. Everywhere. Alright, let's just use this to try to clean up my tile now. Sit there. Alright, so that is now white with a little bit of blue in it. Go ahead and chunk that, a little bit of scrap translucent, so that'll be an interesting white once that gets laid back out. Okay, so here we are. Now I'm going to run it through at a 1 again. Often I back these things so that I get to thin out the layers more, and I usually only take like 1 cut off the top. Debating because I was going to squish it all back together, so no, I'm not going to back it. All right, roll it out of the 0. So now we've got a nice bit to work with. Lucy's out there bossing the neighborhood around now. She would. Guess the lizards are being scarce and playing hard to get. Alrighty. So now we are going to use this guy. And like I said, it'll be mostly white snowflakes, but I'm going to crunch it back together, so it should be very interesting. Take a water spray bottle, spritz my roller. Fill up my water spray bottle. Alright, and make sure it's just nice and saturated. A little bit of water on there too is never a problem. Give it a base, something to roll into. Usually it's best if I stand because it's easier to get even pressure. Actually, I can throw the handles on this too. I do make a connection piece for these, so technically I could even do that. And the handles aren't necessary, but I like that it gives me something to put my pinkies onto. And it just kind of helps to stabilize out the width of the press. Okay, there we go. So now I have a good little impression there. And what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to lift this off. I'm going to spritz the back of it so it moves right down. And I'm just going to slowly crunch it all back together and try to get most of those snowflakes to seal up. So the bottom edge didn't get overly wet, so it's allowing me to push it into itself. Hello, Nadika? Okay, hello, Nadika. Let's see, squishing you all in. So like in most Mokume Gane, we like to build our block, press into our block, and then smush it all back together. Sometimes with the rollers, I don't want to squish it back together because I don't want any deformation. I just want a perfect replication of what I laid out. But a lot of times I like it pushed back together. Don't find taking a roller over it is necessarily the best idea, but I do like the squishy squishy. So I think that does a lot to improve the situation. I want this to dry because now I do want it to stick. Try the top side too, to be honest, because that's a little damp too. Okay. Get you to lay down flat. light burnish just to encourage you to stay down, not necessarily to flatten you out. So you can see there's still, you can see a bit of the patterning, but it's much more subtle. Okay, and usually helps if I have something down here to keep that one from moving around. There we go. And moment of truth. I want a very shallow slice on this to start with. I can always go deeper if we choose to. It's got a good bit of white there, so we are going to probably want to go a little bit deeper. Yep, definitely need to go much deeper. Yeah, we're getting it. I'm just starting to see the little snowflakes coming up. Go. I don't think any of that's gonna, oh, don't get so deep. Come on, no. I guess that is how deep we need to go. All right. And let it rip. There we go. So that's going to be a very pretty extra piece because it's got the see-through with the snowflake in it. And I should have made sure I had more tiles floating around. Hold on. Pulling things out of the oven so that I have a spot to work. There's that blade. It did not get put away. That down there. So most of this I'm not worried about preserving. That might be really pretty. That's stunning. That should be interesting. It's got enough of the translucent floating around still too. There we go. Oh, don't mess that one up. That's the best one. These are so pretty. And yeah, that bit of foil is definitely a good choice. It's really deep. I hope that works. Okay, I can go really deep and it's fine. Woohoo! Good to know. It's probably scrappy. Oh, I love that into the dark like that. That's pretty. So this side's super pretty. Come on. That's extra pretty. I wonder if I'll ever get to the other side of that dark. It's worth trying. We might lose some of our snowflake effect going that deep. But that's still really pretty. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Yep. Still think I like this section with the translucent the best, so I think that whatever slab I'm going to make out of all the scraps is going to be my favorite part. Try to get good big scraps. That's really pretty too, though. There we go. I don't remember putting that much of the dark in there. That's crazy how much that's trying to take over. I'm not saying it's not beautiful, because it's beautiful, but I'm not getting to much of the other colors yet. I don't know, we might lose our snowflakey pattern before we get that deep, so I might stop sooner than later, because actually kind of liking where it's at now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop there because I think that's pretty darn good. I think we'll be able to get some really pretty pieces out of that. So you can see here I was starting to get through to the other colors in that layer. But if I go much deeper, I'm going to end up losing the metallic and the translucent game. So, interesting thought though, since it's thickened up so much. You're all mostly just scraps with minimal blue, so I don't think you're going to become anything interesting. You can go away. Move this out of my way if there's any room to do so. And try to keep all the best cut pieces. Just take you guys out in a little bit. And keep all the good shavings over here. And I am not sure how much of an influence. Ooh, don't get lost. Stay put. Just random extra scraps. Stay. Do. Aw, the baby's bored and he wants to play. Poor little guy. Wonder if you guys can hear or not. All right. I think I'll do the opposite one. Extra wetness. And we're just going to go just to make the back pretty too. Lay down, lay down. That's where I put my blade. And other than maybe just a couple of these to hang on to. So this is the fun part about the using an embossing roller, is those shavings can be really awesome too, and those can be reused. They're trickier to get to stay nice. Oh, you know what I can do? I'll show you guys a cool little cheat. Because so you see how lacy this is? And it would be almost impossible to get that to hold together. So I'm going to take the rest of our little leftover translucent, and I am just going to lay it across this. And give it a very light burnish because I don't want to mess up our patterning much. Maybe a little harder burnish because it doesn't want to stay there. It doesn't really want to stay down. Let me choose smaller. Oh, it's Cernit translucent. Everything else I was using was Primo, Sculpey Primo, but Cernit translucent can be such a pain. It's just a completely different texture, and I don't play with Cernit enough to truly understand it. I have some of the best metallics, some really pretty metallics, but the texture is just so inconsistent. I find Sculpey to be way more consistent. And every time I've ordered it, it's been from Blueberry Beads, so I can't even say that I'm not getting a good source on it and it's not fresh or whatever, but it's just super inconsistent. All right, nope. See, you don't want to stay down. Why don't you want to stay down? Why are you giving me trouble? You're not supposed to be giving me trouble. Oh, come on. Really? This is hilarious. Oh, that might be too wet. Maybe that was it. I didn't dry it. That's what I'm doing. I'm a dork. Forgot to towel dry it off. And this side must have been wetter. Okay. I said this is not the most important thing ever. But if you're going to try this cheat, try your clay before you try to put another layer on. Alright, let's see if we got it any better. There we go. Okay, that was the issue. Is it just a little wet under there. So clay didn't want to stick to clay because there was a layer of water in between. So now how this works is I use that. You can already see it coming up. Just catches all my little scraps. So now my scraps are contained and the lacing won't get messed up when I go use them elsewhere. And the dogs say they're done with outside and ready to come inside. I try to get as big a slices off as I can. Try not to go too deep because then we'll get really thin. See if I can put you back down and get you to stay put and bring another piece with you. There we go. So now we're getting the actual Skinner blend version trimmed off. So the other side ended up being mostly just the top layers I laid down. So that black, the dark, the translucent, and if I wanted to get through to the Skinner blend layers also, I would have had to have run that through the pasta machine a couple times. Oh, those are pretty. I like it when they go long, when the scraps go long like that too, because they're really pretty laid onto a piece and then cut kind of long with the plain color to the outside. It usually looks really good. Okie dokie. And I'm going to work on getting this to level out a little bit. I need a spot for just scraps that aren't going back in. Remember how I said the colors are going to be spread out a little bit inconsistently through the slab, and that's what I meant is what you're seeing here. Is you're not going to get much of this beige going all the way to the outside edge. It's going to be mostly the white and the blue. And that beige is going to hold to the middle a little bit more, and the other blue is going to be very centered. You're not going to get any of that to the outside edge. So it just kind of gives you a little bit of adjustability in your patterning. Kind of pretty too. There you go. Okay. Now I'm thinking that both of those are good and done. Big blade. Losing a little bit of foil because it decided to stick to the glass over the clay, of course. Alright, but that's fine. It's just one little funky spot that got split up. Yeah, I'll just let you show up. Whatever. Do what you want. Okie dokie. More foil attacking. That foil is so mean. Alright, so I absolutely love this. I'm going to aim for two-sided pieces. And we are probably going to want to resin this side because of the exposed foil. So now need another tile. I'm gonna go steal the one more tile I've got. Hold on. So I am really quickly sanding these because if I don't sand them real fast while they're down to the tile, then I end up having to sand them freehand, and that's annoying. So I found these handy dandy little nail buffers. And they're two-sided. They've got two grits on them, and the smallest one is hard to tell which grit's which. It doesn't throw too much dust, so I can do it over. Oh, the dog's running now. The life of a crafter. And I just give it a little buff. And then I can use these as is. I still have to freehand sand the backs, but it's nice having the... I was playing with one of my butterfly rollers so you can see the little butterfly patterns in them. That was... Where are you? That's another new one. That's all these guys. Oh, right. Oh, I like. Teach me to do other things while I'm doing a thing. And so that's all those off. Put them in a little dish for processing later. And there we go. So now, got a place to work with this on. I can move these guys out of my current area of working. I'm running out of room for such things while I'm standing and let the dogs back in. Come on. Good, everybody. Okay, good, everybody. You're loud. That Roo is my Weeby. She's a crazy little thing. That's how. Guys, sorry, I don't think I can pause it. B, no. Havoc, it's probably nothing. Ratting while their puppy's trying to figure out what's worth barking at and what's not worth barking at. B says everything's worth barking at. There we go. There we go. Good finish there. Actually going to be a little weird and flip it over while it's still on this paper. Maybe. There we go. Leave it on the paper to burnish this side because and I don't think I want to run it through pasta machine because then I will end up with all of that leaf in the pasta machine. All right, so this is what we're working with and I like it. I like it a lot. And then how about the side? Definitely gonna have to seal that flake in, but holy smokes, that metal flake made it for fun. So essentially we got two projects. This is the upper layers where we barely touched that Skinner blend that we used. So if you want this look, Skinner blend was unnecessary. I like the Skinner blend a lot though. Would have been hard to get the metallic flake in that unless we could have laid some metallic flake on it when we were rolling it up, and that would have put all kinds of metallic in it, which would have been really pretty too. Might have been overkill though, because if it would have been a couple spots all the way down, you wouldn't want to do the whole thing. But that would be worth trying out too. Yeah, I like it. Alrighty, so next question is, what do we do with it? think I'm going to want to try and do one bolder and more just less looking for variation and more looking for simplicity for doing beads out of. So I don't think I'm going to use this one for beads. So what shapes do we want? I don't want to have it lately. I always like this guy. It's just fun. I like the circles. Been kind of liking those a bit. And these are fun because you can actually some without having to put a bezel on it. I don't think I want to do the texture because I want to resin that. So, man, those actually have a curvature to them, so they're domed. So, I say let's do one of those and find the most fun spot. Let me find my circle because now I have too many colors and someone must do that. Here, you get the little lost one. Stay. Stay. Come inside. Come. Lyric, come inside. Come on. Walk inside. Lyric, come. Here, Rick. You can be barking in 3 seconds saying you got lost. Don't do that. Good girl. Good babies. Alright, so let me grab my handy dandy cutter handle. Slip into place. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Crispy. I appreciate it. There we go. Yes, those are stunning. Okay. Now what? I'm going to have to lift that. Sit there a second. Oh, back's good too. That's just so fun. I love it. All right. And now, let me see if I can find my little domers. I like these. These were ordered from, I think it's Polymer Clay Week. And they come in a bunch of different sizes. I threw papers in between just to keep them from like making too much noise. I like the second to smallest for that size. Another option if you want like a heavier dome is like these guys. These are bath bomb things. The trick is finding them where they're not dimpled there because a lot of them will be dimpled there, but these aren't. So if I'm doing a smaller one, but for this, that would be a lot of dome, like lots of dome, where this is way more subtle. So I'll stick with the subtle version. And there's also, oh, wow, I landed that like, looky there. That's unusual. And that like dead square. I'll just kind of slowly work it around. Yeah, I think they're pretty well centered. And then the question is do I want a hole in it? Or do I want, no, I think I'm going to want to, no, I don't want a hole in it because we're going to try to resin it. And that's the flaw to doming it is resin on a dome is kind of a pain. So we might just varnish it. There we go. I think all my edges are down pretty evenly. I check to make sure we got a good even shape, is that it's all set down. It's going to be a little bubbled and dimpled underneath because it's attaching the glass, so I'll have to get in there and sand that side. So you wouldn't want to put the foil side down, that's for sure. Okay, so that's my necklace piece. Put that in bake. And now, what do I want for earrings? So I got these new things. It's a little tempted to play with. And it's not the new blade, so it can cut things. There we go. Always the tricky thing is keeping track of which blade is which. Because new blades, don't want to damage them putting them into old stuff. So I'm thinking This might be kind of fun for little earring backs. So they're claimed to be hypoallergenic stainless steel. So we shall see. And I don't think at the moment I have a cutter size to match that. Somewhere I had a stash of little round cutters that have more options. And apparently I'm going to have to make up my own set with that size options. Let's see. Something in here that fits that. Looks like it. I think. Put that out a second. Yep, that's like a perfect fit. Cool. Maybe I won't make my own cutters for it. We'll see. I think with these, it doesn't really matter what you get. That should be pretty though. I'm going for something on the smaller side. No fussing and being sassy. I want something that captures the small details. So little bitty. So that's one leg of a snowflake, and then I found on the top corner those little bitty little snowflakes. So those would be great. Let's pull you out of the way. Pick you guys up. Now I'm wondering, I think what my best bet would do, I'm losing the back detail though, but oh well, is to drop a little, yep, those will fit right in there. So let's drop a little bit of, where's my liquid clay? There's my liquid clay. It's upside down, couldn't notice it. Moment, I'm using Sculpey. Put a little dollop down in there. Try to put enough that it'll smush around and not get too crazy. And again, these were just an Amazon find. There's a bunch of different options, bunch of different sizes. I believe these are 12 millimeter. And that fits right in there, doesn't it? How cool is that? Huh. If those actually work, I will be quite pleased. I'm kind of just spinning and doming and spinning and doming and trying to, yep, exactly. Although, again, who's messing with Elvis? And then the next one, we do a ton of these. Very easily. So now the next thing I'd like to find is something like this that also has the option to add a dangle. Ah, that works even easier rather than spinning. Figured out the cheat. Okay, yep, that gave us a nice little dome all the way to the edge. Not pretty. Come on, find your focus. You know you want to. There you go. So a little snowflake, just the edges. And this one's even prettier with the itty bitty snowflakes. But yeah, I like it. All right, tricky part's gonna be figuring out how to get those to bake without being crazy. I'm tempted to, no yelling, everybody. Don't need to start fussing again. Just going to take an empty one, pop some holes in a piece of paper, and then cardstock, not just paper. There we go. And I'm just going to give it a little fold. There we go. And that will work for baking those. Okay. So there's that. There's one option for rounded earrings. How much more do we have to play with here? I just feel like that got compressed somehow, so I'm trying to round out those snowflakes a little better. That spot's particularly pretty, but I don't have enough that matches it to really make a whole set that is that. All right, so what's the next shape I want to use? Do I want to just use my handy dandy long one and just take all of that? Maybe. And the rounded rectangle, put the circle away. I guess I'll show you guys these again. So I still need to get these on the website. But, and I won't be doing them in the tinted purple. These are too brittle. They break too easily. So I started printing them back out in, this blue works really well. And then my printer stopped working 100%. That was running the blue. So I had to get it re-leveled and make sure everything's working on it again. So it's going through retesting to behave itself. But these are the ones that had the really sharp edge. And all of these are made to fit my funky little handle thing. So this is like such a game changer. I love it. All right, so my favorite one of this, and I also put the size on there so I can find it easier. That's a little, so each style or shape has a number. So these are 201, the 200s are all versions of rectangles. And the size is a 70, so the height is roughly 70 millimeters. Let's see if that will fit through there, and looky there, it does, and it gets me that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to lean you a little bit. I want to get most of that one snowflake without losing too much here because of the hole I cut in it. And there we go. That find its little nooks. Okay. Ta-da! Yep, I like that piece. So now to make it a matching set of earrings. Hey, hey! What are you chewing over there? Are you chewing a rock? Okay. Oh, babies. So I did like snowflakes that are up in here and that little snowdrift effect. However, it's so much darker than all of that. Although it does kind of match parts of it. Maybe I will go ahead and do that. Because I think I see another spot where I can get something that is... That's really good too. Make sure the whole thing's in. So I think that'll be dark enough to complement this earring and not look too odd being called a pair. And yeah. And then we got the side. Anything over here that we want? Not particularly. I was thinking I could make more of those little circle earrings out of the rest of these scraps. I think I might do that. I wouldn't mind. It's another thing I've been wanting to play with is a little circle topper. Yeah, it looks like I got the right size. So what do you guys think? Since these are so dark, maybe complement it with something light. Trying to catch off of that idea. I have to lay those down good so that it actually stays put. So what was it I saw? Oh, over here. Yeah, there's some. I'm not planning on putting in the little holders. I'm cutting these out to be, that's too much. That's going to be pretty. I might put that into a pendant. What about over here? Let's try. Oh, there we go. There's some snowflake and electric blue. Yeah, those will work for toppers for those. And then I like that through there, especially this up here. So what do I want to do there? I could just grab another one of these guys. Oh. Whoop. Throwing beads around. Throwing everything around. Alright. I think metal leaf is worse than glitter. It gets on everything. That's why I tried to seal it in with the translucent, but I think sometimes the translucent came away from the metal leaf and came with the rest of it, but alright. Mostly got rid of that. But yeah, you see how much cleaner these cut? Like I don't have to wipe off behind them hardly at all. They just like right out and don't take much work. So the edge on those are fantastic. And they're just as good in the blue. And like I said, a little bit more durable. I'm going to keep this out because I'm going to punch a bunch of those. Okay. And then next question is what to do with all the other little things. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in, or do I want to cut some more stuff out first? I think if I'm doing more of those little studs, I am going to want to put them in their things before I bake them. So that's not something I need to do with the tile before the tile goes in. Although I can. Oh, I was going to cut and make this a charm. That's what I was working on. Okay, so don't think I necessarily want to do. Let me find a sun-ish teardrop. Not too big. I actually think that will just do it. Ta-da! Alright, that works. Okay, so that can all go in the oven. And I'm still having tile issues. I've got too many projects going. Looks like I've got one more unopened, but oh, I like that. Yeah, those are super pretty. Guys, are you eating the rock on the doorsill? You would, wouldn't you? There you go. Keep your rock on the floor. Come here. You got a rock? What are you doing with that rock? Is it a good rock? Yumi, you can show me your rock? What are you doing with that? Is it a good toy? Oh, you're going to drop it and come say hi. Don't lose your rock. Your sister's going to steal it. Hi, Eric. Nikki, you have a baby. Why you have no tolerance for babies? You need to go visit your baby, huh? All right. I'll let you go bug him. Hopefully the Rottweiler's not out where he's going to annoy you. Oh, you got your rock back. Good job. Okay, back to crafting. And needing a piece of tile. I never have enough space. We can reappropriate this one back to usefulness. So that's all scrap. That's all scrap. Elsewhere, more color. I wonder where that came from. This is Cernet see-through stuff. Why does my dark blue not have a spot? You lost your little container. All right. Go back over here. Oh yeah, and I don't think I want snowflakes on see-through. So I just need to remember, I guess I can fold you up and put you away somewhere. Over there with the rest of the Cernet. Okay, and then I think what I do want the snowflakes on, what are you thinking? So these are little cut pieces. And do I just want to put them on a pearl white? Oops. Don't put that little chunk of blue on the pearl white. Or do I want to put them on the creamy? No, it's not going to do it for me. Do I want to put them on the dusty blue? You know, I might do it. Try a piece or two and see. Alright, let's roll you out. And that scrap is no longer necessary, so you can just get worked into that. Side, not the front side, because I was trying to get the textured side. Now I'm throwing things, and I have way too much stuff sitting out again, because that's how crafting works, isn't it? I don't know, guys. Are you all like that? Stuff everywhere? I know I am. Rectangle cutters go back. A little single triangle or teardrop cutter goes back. That's the one thing about doing them on the not clear is you actually read the numbers a lot easier. So that's handy. Alright, and the paper needs to go away. You little buggers need to go in the oven before you get messed up. I can poke more holes and more paper later for all of you. Okie dokie, so I've got a piece of blue laid out. Let me get a little knife, which means put the big knife away. The gremlins are gremlining. So let's start with a... Let's see. So all that translucent's going to let it go through to the background, which is going to be really pretty. Well, actually, I have a quick question. Is there anything I want to be a single statement piece out of this? I don't think so. I think this all can all just get worked in together and then cut pieces out of it once it's all put together. Just got a chunk of something weird there. It's unnecessary. It's going to be an eeny, meeny, miny, mo on a lot of these. So I've got the bright side, and then I've got the blacker side. Kind of want to see a good bit of all of this white and translucent. I think that'll be interesting. Guys, you're fine. Is the places where that translucent, so like this, there's translucent and it's dark under. So I'm going to be very curious what's going to happen there. Trying to get some of these snowflakes to connect all in a line. And no, snowflake is not a derogatory term in this instance. Alright, so what have I got there? There's little bitty snowflakes in there, and the backside's a nada, so actually you'll wedge right into there kind of nicely. Basically, I'm sitting here reconstructing a slab. And lots of little snowflake details there. I have a feeling this is going to be really interesting. Alright, I found the one that I want for that individual piece. I think that laid long, and then use that long rectangular cutter that I like so much. I think that'll be very pretty. Yeah, I think that'll have a neat effect. Okay. There's another piece that's kind of like that. It's not as slim. I'm not sure, again, that's going to have that pretty translucent effect. And you might still see some of that through there. So I think I'm going to stick with this plan of the lighter side up. You fit in here somewhere. Just put across there maybe. Sure, there you go. There might be a spot or two where I might actually like that. There we go. So that gives us more of a snowflakey effect. It looks like I missed a slice there. Haha, yes, that was a good choice. Okay. More trashy bits. All right. Trying to find pieces that. Whoop. Some of these are starting to get into that heavier, bluey, busier, like that, but at least this side's still that lighter color. So throw you in here like that, where you've got a nice blend in. Don't want to get too close. Actually, you might want to go ahead and cut that out. Let's see. Polish you off a bit more. A little bit more. There you go. The back side of this actually works great for polishing out. The burnishing. Yeah, that's absolutely pretty. Let's see. Round rectangle. Is it size 70 gonna be right for it? I think so. Or I could add just a touch more. I like that effect of having some of the background, but it does it well here. It isn't as well done up there. Not that piece. Looking for a little bit of scrap that might. You're not? Oh, okay. I'm actually going to. Let's see how I feel about that. No yelling, psychos. The babies are having an epic battle down there. There we go. And I'm looking for a good use of that leftover space. I think that's all really good. All right. Let's you out. Oh my goodness, guys. A little bit of color in that aren't going to hurt it for scrap. There's its bin. Okay. So, how much more do I want to add here? And do I have anything that would complement that for earrings? edge on this. Oh, there's a hair in there. Hold on. Little hair. Oh my gosh, I'm making a mess out of that trying to get a single little hair out. So the trick to dealing with hairs later is they burn. It's a thing. All right, let me lay that back down a little bit. And what I want is I want this to lay. No, come back here. This is not what I wanted. Okay, that's what I wanted. I want you just to lay where you're at an edge. I can cut along. And some good blue relief. So that's what I'm. Oops, I don't want to smush that back here. Okay, so you see how that is such a good match? I have to try to find another spot that I can do that with another piece that I can do that. At the moment, pretty snowflakes into a little bit of relief. So it's my favorite thing to do with when you're playing with the cuttings or scrap pieces is using that negative edging intentionally. All right, so you so I'm seeing is I've got a piece here that's good, but I need it to continue somewhere without losing the goodness of that one. Let's see if I can be super weird here. And I don't want all this thickness. Haha. But I didn't want to lose the snowflake. Eek. Come here. Slippery little devil. Okay. So now, because this edge is still good, so I can go like this and keep a couple snowflakes in it. This. And go like that. That'll work. Okay. So let's blend you in. Alrighty. Now I've got, again, that little bit of negative space that made that pendant piece so pretty. I'm a little thick here still, it feels like. Okie dokie. Boop. Yep, that's gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna be a brat now. And pull all of this out of the way. And I think I can get away with moving you guys over. So I can still work on the rest of this tile. Oop. Don't prefer picking up my pieces and moving them, but every so often, it's just what needs to be. If I leave them in place, I run the risk of causing a little trouble. Alright, let's do the towel. Alrighty, let's keep rocking. Hello, Maywish. Alrighty, and since that's just going to be the edge of something, I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. It's over there. Do I want to keep adding? I think so, and I think I just saw another hair. No. But that one's not so heavily in there. Ha, be gone. Alright, let's just get the rest of this all used up and placed in Just find the pieces that are shaped to fit in places that have holes. Ah. Come here, stop falling. And that side up. Actually quite pretty. Being such a dark piece. I think I'm going to have to stop here. Because much more, and I'm just going to cover up all that really cool translucent white thing that I wanted to see what happens with. So here's my roller. Let's go ahead and roll it in a little bit. Tiny bit of rollerizing, a little bit of burnishing, a little bit of running through the pasta machine. There you go. So I always go back and forth on the crazy artist in me. I like the abstract things that happen when you repiece it all together. Some parts of me like the controlled version when you just slice it out and all the patterning still even across your initial slab and it's pretty. But I don't know, there's something about just the chaos of piecing all that. Oh, I'm not putting it through the roller because it's going to be naughty. I might go ahead though and texture the back. So lay you down. We'll grab a little texture spongy thingy. These are in my Etsy shop too, in case you guys want to know. Not very expensive. I give you 2 of them and a couple of pieces of another texture too. Lays differently when you roll it that way versus when you put it through the pasta maker. Fascinating. Okay, now squish you back down, finish you down so it's got a little pressure down on it. I like that one. That's so pretty. Okie dokie. So now, what do I see that we want to cut out for sure? Debating whether I want to do one of my little papillon pieces for my dog show stuff, but I don't think I really do. I've got beads rolling all over the place. Hold on, sorry guys. Confine you. All right. Meeny, miny, mo. Back to the decision-making part, and that's where I always get hung up, and it takes me forever. Is just thinking. I need to not think so much and just grab and do. All right. So we've already got a couple of the long ones. You know what else is really pretty? Slightly fatter rectangles. With a little bit of a trim on them. So pendant says that guy's nice. There you go. Oh, the set guy didn't get their numbers. Oh, and the rest of the set got the numbers, not that one. Let's see, what's one size up? Nope. Handful of these didn't get numbered. That's so funny. Yeah, these. Oh, they're on the ends. That's why. Oh, that's a 60. Okay. That is a 60, not an 80. But yeah, because it just picks up so much, and then you can put a trim on them, and then they look really, really good. Something about all that chaos up there. It's kind of fun. And the other thing I was so interested in, so where I loved negative space, usually I don't like this because it's a solid edge. So it doesn't quite do it for me the way it does where it fades off into its own patterning. But all of this was super, super curious about what's going to happen here. I just want to do, I think that might do it. That gives me a lot of what I wanted to see what happens with. I don't want the negative space on that one though. Yeah, I think that'll work. Where did I put the presser majig? There it is. And squishy, squishy. A little pivot, pivot. Just squishy, squishy. Make sure you're cut through. Here we go. Little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There you go. Whoop. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. All right. And then what would I want to see for earrings with that? It does work nicely with these. So when building out the shapes, they tend to be like somewhat mimics. These don't have quite as much arc to them. But I try to kind of mimic my shapes a little bit because I think it's neat to have, like if that's my necklace, then having the earrings being like a different rectangle looks good. The matching on these, to be honest, is a little big and bulky. So if I do them dangling from something, might be prettier, but they still end up big. So I would go to a different size. But the other thing that's not bad to do either is actually just, even though I've got a rectangular-ish pendant, I can still go to a teardrop. Not that set of teardrops. Where's 100's teardrops? There you are. I can also go 100 rectangles, go back. All right. Narrow or fat? Narrow. Okay, so what I was capturing here was that fascination in what's going to happen with all the light colors and all that translucence. So I want something that looks good with that, but catches a little bit of that dark too. So I'm thinking that's really good. That's taken up a lot of real estate there. That is really good. What if I run that this way? Oh, I like all of that. I wonder if I want to fill in, sorry if you guys aren't seeing it, I wonder if I want to fill in that little bit of, because what I want is that, but I don't think I want the negative space in this particular set. And then I can come like over here for this. That's such a good match on there. Oh, and then I can go there. Okay. So it's there and there. All right, let me try those out. There's one. Feels like it's a little thicker there, so I'm going to try to burnish it and press it out that way a little. Yeah, I think that did it. Okie dokie. And I think I'm gonna love that. Yes. So now, what do I do with all this that I like so much? I think I might try to find a little chunk. Fill in there. Burnishing paper. There it is. Okay, let's solve that missing problem. And go ahead and pull you up out of here. And I think I am just gonna move you so that, again, I don't end up interfering with that set. The next bit that I cut, especially as I have to burnish and whatnot. So I still love this, and I love the busy of that. So I wonder if I can get 2 more sets out of this. I don't think I want to go big gaudy statement pieces here. I think I want to keep this subtle. I love this. I don't know what it is, but something about just the randomness through here. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I'm loving all this randomness. I don't know why, but just something about the funk in the texture is really cool there. I think I might see if that rectangle fits it. We've got the ovals. I almost never end up using these fat ovals. That would be really pretty framed. I want to get just a little more of it though. I think the next size up. That'll end up huge if I frame it, so it'd be this one. Just looking to make sure there's no parts I'm missing. The other option I could do is I could go, oh, that winds up getting all of it. Okay, you're just gonna be a big one. Oh, Lacey. I don't think I want a second oval. That one doesn't fit oval. That would, but that doesn't. Okay. Ovals go back. And then earrings for that. I don't want the matching oval. I want the slightly more narrow oval. I think those might be kind of, those are big. Let's see, where is my... Okay, so the sizing, the reason I have two trays, just to give you guys an overview, is these are all the even numbers. So 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. And then I have the matching in 45, 35, 25, and 15. So that gives me more range on the small sizes, because once I get small, I think it needs the on the halves. And then I'm going to be selling them per tray. I still need to work out the pricing. So yeah, I will be selling them per tray. I don't know. Now I'm kind of liking, that's actually 45, so I could go get the 40, which will be a little smaller. I like that. And this is just one size down, so it's still really fat. And I think I like the thinner one. So let's go one size down and grab the, where is the 30? No. Well, the 35 might actually be good then. It was the 40 I was going for, but let me see. Where are you, little 35? Or 30, 40? It's 40. That's nice though. Alright, I think I'm going with the 40. And that picks up all the right colors and leaves me just enough for one more beside it. It's also catching all the right stuff. I like that better, but I don't have that many. Don't have any scrap that's matching. No, okay. So in order to complete this set, I lose those really good snowflakes, which is a shame. But oh well, it is what it is. All right, what's where? You're at 35, so you go back there. It goes back, and number 40 goes back. I guess I'm gonna stay with ovals, but I don't think I was. And, all right, so I have this much left to play with, and you know what? That might make really good beads. It's also kind of fun. You know what I could do? I can stretch it a little. That was a good choice. That does something interesting. And now I've got enough more pulled out that I can do more with it. Yay! More pieces to decide. Oh, the decisions, decisions, decisions. It's not why I craft. It is not to make decisions. But oh well, it is what it is. So this would be cool to do, and something I'm planning to edge, to bevel. this again. Don't know why. Or I could do just a pretty little teardrop. Where's my teardrops? Teardrops to use. There we go. I think that's too narrow. Still thinking I want to edge it. I like just the furious snowstorm vibe here. Let's see this up on teardrop. So here's what I'm trying to do. This one's telling me a story. So it's got all that fury in the way that moves, but it's got the one good snowflake in the middle. And something about that just edge of white creeping across I really like. So that's what I'm going to snag. Go boop. And sometimes it's easier just to use this. So on the little like earring size ones, I don't necessarily feel the need to have the handle majig, but once it gets up to necklace size, I prefer it. And then this is the size I used before. There are enough places where I can catch the, I mean, that's a match. Is that enough of a match? I think so. Let me stretch that way a little so I can keep more details. Sorry if I'm mumbling, I'm just thinking out loud. Trying to decide if that's quite furious enough. I think so. And then that one, I definitely want that one going that way. Okay. So much for beads. And still use all the scraps, but, or make more, because I can always make more. That goes in the same piece. All right, return the teardrops. Now, I think we're good. I think I'm just going to finish up these, pop them in the oven, and see if I can pull out the other ones and show you how much translucent we were playing with there. So let me see what those are doing. They are actually about done. That means we've been playing way too long. All right, I'm going to set that there. It's a little warm, so I'll let it sit there a sec. Sure that, oh, you guys did that. Me. Yep, it's only getting better. So I'm going to go ahead and chuck those back in the oven. Wow, yeah, the translucent was such a good choice. Probably should have gone much thinner on that dark, but it's neat. It's just not as like snow, it's more snowstorm than peaceful little snowy day, but it's fun. Yeah, those are gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. I will have to polish, shine them up with something to protect out that, and I will probably go through all that scrap and just make a ton of those because those are awesome. And then these pieces, actually I'm going to go ahead and chuck those back in the oven though. Again, we've got so much more dark than I expected, but and then the little guys. Because again, everything that was translucent just lets the dark show through as much as it lets light show through behind it. But I don't remember there being nearly that much of the metal leaf, so that's popping through everywhere it was translucent. So yeah, it's really great. Oh, these were the double-sided, weren't they? I am not going to be sanding you there so I can flip you. Ta-da! And those are the back sides of those. Which, so this had no translucent added to it, but it's still metallic and mica shift, so there's a touch of translucence within. So that wouldn't have been a bad idea either, is put a layer of translucent somewhere in this. That's really pretty though. I like it. I got a little chunk of that foil's going to be everywhere. And then this guy is awesome. I may try sanding him lightly. So I'm going to leave him on his tile, and this tile is still a little hot, so see if I can't. There we go. Yeah, it's actually not that hot anymore. But that's how that came out. That's fun. I love it. Yeah, way darker than I was expecting, but I'm not complaining because all that metal leaf just really pops it, and then that dark's got so much like of a gold tinge to it. Yeah, it's a win. Okay, this was a good project day. I am quite pleased. We'll see how all that bakes out. I will try to remember to throw some pictures of it up on Facebook along with the link to the replay, and yeah, trying to remember all this social media stuff. You know, it's so funny how easy it is to get lost in the playing and just fail at any of the business end. Social media for the win, though. All right. Well, it was wonderful of you guys to hang with me, and I hope you enjoyed this little project, and I hope you learned something of ideas of what to do for your own projects, and I will try to put all the links in the description of the stuff I showed you, what's available and what's coming, and everything's Cassandra Jean Designs, so the website, the Etsy shop, Facebook page, and I think that's how I am on YouTube. I hope that's what I am on YouTube. Anyway, I hope you, it might still be Cassandra Jean Artist on YouTube. I'm not positive. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, you guys all have a wonderful one, and I will see you on the next live stream. And where is my button to end it? Oh, no. How do I end? Is that the button? Yes, stop stream.